Welcome to INN's Advocate. INN's Advocate is a platform for lawyers having less than 5 years of practice. Today we have with us Advocate Sumedha Kokate. She graduated her law from KC Law College in the year 2020. Currently, she is pursuing LLM in criminal law from KC Law College. Advocate Sumedha is currently working as Assistant Legal Aid Defense Counsel with District Legal Services Authority since past 2 years. She has delivered various lectures on various platforms. She has also earned various awards in her college. Her expertise lies in NDPS, MCOCA, economic offences and cybercrime. Today she is going to speak on cybercrime, fraud, a legal perspective. So without wasting further time, I would request Advocate Sumedha to commence with her lecture. Thank you.
Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about cyber crimes and cyber fraud and legal perspective of the same. So in earlier days we've seen that people used to do pickpocketing, steal your phones, maybe a lot of people who have lost their phones in the train. But with advancement of technology, we've seen that even the criminals have become smarter. So they use technology to do thefts and other crimes. Now, this comes to the topic of cyber crimes, wherein a person can actually dupe you or steal your money through online frauds. And that's how cyber crimes have come into picture and the cases have been increasing these days. Now, what is a cyber crime? Cyber crime, as we know, cyber means that something that has been done online with the help of some electronic device, computers or mobile phones, etc. And cyber crime targets individuals, businesses and even governments for that matter. It may lead to financial loss or say reputation damage, etc. Government and organizations are working hard across the world to curb these kind of crimes because it has become actually a menace in the world. Now, cyber fraud is an online fraud which is a criminal activity which involves the use of internet or web to deceive or manipulate individuals and organizations for financial and personal gains. The goal of cyber fraud is actually to steal money, valuable information or disrupt operations. It's essential to stay vigilant online and also use tools like strong passwords, two-factor authentication and updated antivirus software to protect yourself. Now, I'll give some common examples of cyber frauds. One is phishing, wherein it involves sending fake emails or messages to trick people into sharing sensitive information like passwords or credit card details. Other one is identity theft, which talks about stealing someone's personal information to impersonate them and gain access to their accounts or resources. Online scams is another big thing that is happening, which involves creating fraudulent websites or advertisements to lure victims into paying for non-existent products or services. I also have come across such advertisements on Instagram. So you please be careful before making any online payments. Other example is hacking. We all know about hacking. It means using computer systems to steal or manipulate your data. And one more is ransom attacks, which locks access to someone's data or systems and demands payment to restore them. If you watch this Hollywood movie called The Beekeeper, the start of the movie talks about an old lady who's tricked in some ransom attack like that. So basically what has happened is either victim falls prey to some kind of greed where you are told about some kind of investment. Say for example, you invest 1 lakh rupees today and you will get double the amount. So there is some kind of greed, and experts also say that the other reason why such cyber frauds are happening is the other reason is threat. So say for example, someone has your photos and the person will say, I have your personal or private photos and I'll make them viral. Or you might have also come across something called as digital arrest, which has become a sensation these days. So what are the legal provisions of these cyber crimes or cyber frauds? Basically, law deals with such crimes with respect to IT Act, that is Information Technology Act, and Indian Penal Code. In India, cyber fraud is a serious offence and the legal consequences are outlined under Information Technology Act 2000 and relevant sections of Indian Penal Code. So we'll see some of them. One is hacking under section 66. It is unauthorized access to computer systems, which deals with computer related offences as per section 66 of IT Act. So what's the offence? The offence states, if a person dishonestly or fraudulently commits any act referred to section 43 of the IT Act, which is unauthorized access, data theft, or introducing viruses, they are liable under section 66. So the punishment here is imprisonment for 3 years and fine up to 5 lakhs or both. The section basically is designed to address crimes involving misuse of computer systems and protect individuals and organizations from such harm. The other one we discussed was identity theft. It means using someone else's password or digital signature without authorization, which is defined under section 66C of IT Act 2000, and it addresses theft of a person's identity. The offence states fraudulently or dishonestly using someone else's electronic signature, password, or unique identification features. This also includes impersonating someone online or misusing their digital credentials. So what's the punishment for that? 3 years of imprisonment and a fine of up to 1 lakh or both. So this section is crucial for protecting individuals from cyber crimes involving misuse of personal digital information. The other one that we can discuss here is cheating by personation. It is covered under section 66D. Pretending to be someone else using a computer resource is covered under this section, and it addresses cheating by personation using computer resources. So what's the offense? This section applies when someone impersonates another person using computer or communication device with the intent to cheat. So the most important part here in this section is that the intention should be to cheat. Examples include creating fake social media profiles, unauthorized access to accounts, or impersonating someone in online transactions. So I have personally handled one case in which the accused was duping women claiming to be belonging to be from some royal family, and he used to ask for money saying that there was some IT raid at his house. So he was impersonating, he has actually changed his name, making an affidavit, and he was impersonating himself as being a member of some royal family. So this is the kind of seriousness that can come up under this section. Other one is, so what is the punishment for such a crime? Imprisonment of up to 3 years and fine of up to 1 lakhs or both. So this law aims to curb cyber crimes involving deception and to protect individuals from such online instances. And one of the most important crimes that I would like to discuss here is cyber terrorism, which is mentioned under 66F of the IT Act. Such activities that threaten India's sovereignty or security using cyber means is covered under this act. It outlines severe penalties, obviously because it's threatening the country and the sovereignty and security. Maybe some confidential information has been hacked and distributed to some other country or people who are anti-social people and involved in such activities. So it involves penalties for such acts that threatens India's unity, integrity, security through cyber means. The section says denying access to authorized users of a computer resource or unauthorized access or exceeding authorized access to computer systems, introducing harmful software like viruses to disrupt essential services or critical infrastructure, and accessing restricted data, as I mentioned, confidential information that could harm India's security, foreign relations, or even public order. So what's the punishment for this? Since it's a serious offense which is against the state, it involves imprisonment for life. This law is designed to protect the national security and prevent misuse of technology for harmful purposes. The last one is publishing obscene material, which is covered under section 67. Sharing obscene content online can lead to imprisonment of 3 years and fine of up to 5 lakhs for first time offenders. Now it's very important to note here that the person could be repetitively getting involved in such crimes, maybe just for the fun of it or to extract money out of people. So it says publishing or transmitting or causing to be published or transmitted any material that is lascivious or appeals to the prurient interest, content that could deprive or corrupt individuals likely to read, see or hear it. Now the punishment I have already mentioned for first conviction, but what happens with subsequent or the second convictions? The imprisonment could extend up to 5 years and the fine could be extended to 10 lakhs. This section is designed to regulate the dissemination of obsolete content online and protect individuals from exposure to harmful material. Now you may say there is so much of online fraud going on. Why aren't banks doing anything about it? Because the money comes ultimately in some or the other bank accounts. So as I have noticed, HDFC Bank has been proactively having a campaign called Vigilante. There is also a campaign on their website which talks about various instances where you could be duped. Certain incidences such as you get a phone call, say from your relative or friend, saying that they are in dire need of money, they have met with an accident or something like that, and very critical situation, and then they ask you to transfer 20 or 30,000 rupees. You do it, and then subsequently in few seconds or few minutes you come to know that your lakhs of rupees from the account have gone to another account. So this is one kind of an advertisement you may come across, which is published, and there is an advertisement on TV made by HDFC with respect to this. I believe other banks should also take a note of such a grievous situation where common public is getting duped and the money is just swiftly moves from one bank account to another, where they are not even aware that the bank account is going to become nil in few minutes. So it's important for banks to be really vigilant and take a note of this. Now you may also say, now if there is money in somebody's bank account, as a defense counsel, would you say that the person is beneficiary? Would you say that the person is the person who has really committed the offense? The answer is not always. Now I had two cases. In one, there was money in his account, but he was told by the offender that he needed it for his personal use and his mother is going to transfer money. So he was basically not aware that he was getting involved in a cyber fraud. And there was another case where the accused was being charged with the allegation by two people in whose account money had come, and they said that that person has induced them to open the bank account for some use and then they have got the money. So there can be many instances whether the money has come in the person's bank account or no. That doesn't really make the person a beneficiary. There could be many reasons as to why the money has come in his account. So most popular and common practical reasons is, one, they have been told that there is some personal reason. As a friend, please make an arrangement or give your bank details so that my friend or family can send money in your account. And second is, they actually pay commission of around rupees 5,000, 10,000 to use their bank accounts. Once they give their details, they change the email ID, the phone numbers, and then subsequently there is no notification about what money transaction is happening in their account. And one fine day, police ends up going to their place and arresting them, getting to the court within 24 hours and saying that he is the one who's stolen the money. Even without his knowledge, all these kind of things have happened. Other problem with cyber frauds or cyber crimes is police can track or trace the offender or the bank account. But the problem is, if the offender is just a mastermind and the money has come in some other person's bank account, then the police ends up arresting the person in whose account the money has come. So he is actually not able to trace or not able to come to know who the mastermind of the whole cyber fraud is. Also, technically speaking, the IP address, these fraudsters are very smart. The IP address and the technical details of location from where the cyber fraud has been committed keeps on changing every second. This is the kind of technology that we are dealing with in today's time. So it's important to be vigilant in first place and not go beyond some kind of regular perceptions as far as greed or threat is concerned. Now, so what happens when a person becomes a victim of such a cyber crimes or frauds? So is it that just because we are defense lawyers we would ignore his concerns? No. So there is a provision that is being made by the cyber cell in Bombay and outside, where he can just call up on 1930 and make a complaint. Also, there is a web portal where he can lodge his complaint. I have come across cases recently where earlier they used to go to cyber cell and lodge a complaint on an FIR. These days they do it online, and then the police contacts them, and then further action is taken by the police. So other point that I would like to discuss here is some very notable cyber fraud cases that have happened in India. One is man in the middle attack of Pune. So there was this businessman who actually lost 6.49 crore of rupees in a sophisticated attack where cyber criminals intercepted and altered communication between him and US based business associates, and the fraudsters actually manipulated his emails to an extent that they recreated certain payments, and he lost that business, that kind of money. The other one is Noida investment scam. This is very common these days. Two individuals were cheated of over 15 lakh rupees through online fraud. So one victim was lured into an investment, as I mentioned earlier. There was an investment scheme via Telegram and WhatsApp, while another fell into a trap to a malicious APK file. That's the reason why people will keep telling you don't click unwanted or some links that you don't know from where they have come from, unknown sources. So APK files that leads to some authorized transactions, and this might lead to an unauthorized transaction further. Other cases, forex trading scam in Kozhikode, where a retired bank manager was duped of 65.2 lakhs of rupees by a man promising high returns through forex trading. The scam ran for months even before it could be uncovered. So recently I have heard that there was one retired High Court judge who fell prey to such a scam, investment scam. So please be careful with that. Other case that I would like to discuss here is digital arrest fraud in Gujarat. Now we all know about digital arrest and how big it has become. Cyber criminals have posed as officials from CBI and ED, accusing victims of money laundering, and they actually extorted 4.50 lakhs of rupees from a couple under the guise of priority investigation. Now these cases highlight the importance of vigilance and cyber security awareness. So all this is happening, and you may say why there is no police investigation happening, why people or cyber police is not able to track down or put a stop, curb these kind of activities. Now there are certain provisions. So what does police do? Police investigation in India follows a structured process which is outlined in Code of Criminal Procedure, CRPC 1973. So I'm just giving a little overview here. One is filing an FIR, that is first information report. The investigation begins when a cognizable offence is reported to the police and an FIR is registered under 154 of CRPC. Second is visiting the crime scene. The investigating officer visits the crime scene to collect evidence, observe the surroundings and document findings. Now in cyber crimes, they would look for some electronic device or something that they can track down, or maybe some documents which say or talk about the bank accounts in which the money has come. Third step is collection of evidence. Evidence is gathered through witness statements, forensic analysis and seizure of relevant items. In one of my cases, computer and mobile phones were seized from the spot of the incidents, and also the phone was sent for forensic expert analysis. So there was this claim by the victim that there was some hacking software in her phone, whereas the forensic expert gave a report that there was no hacking software, which means that there is something else that has happened and maybe the accused is not the person who has committed the offence. So such kind of evidences are very important. They are technical in nature and critical for defence. Statements are taken under section 161 of CRPC. Then they will arrest the suspects. Search and seizure operations are done following the guidelines under section 165 of CRPC. Then they prepare a case diary wherein they enlist all the happenings or the steps that they have taken during the investigation. Now this is very important, because if the steps, especially in cyber fraud, since things being technical, if everything is not jotted down, then the arrest in itself may become illegal, and then it will become easy for the accused to get bail, and maybe he may be acquitted only because there is lack of evidence on record. The last step being submission of final report, which is under section 173 of CRPC. Now what happens is they recommend this filing of charge sheet or closing the case if evidence is insufficient, because if we just see that a person is claiming to be duped, it doesn't make any sense. There has to be some technical information or technical data on record which can be presented as evidence. This being that kind of we are dealing, as I mentioned, we are dealing with some high level of technology here. So there could be transfers, there are call data reports on record and such kind of technical evidences which are presented before the court. So all in all, there are evidences whether in the case or no. The point is what is presented to the court as an evidence. Whether it is admissible or not is another question. Here, because banks are involved and bank accounts are in picture, there are bank statements which are reported or given to the court as an evidence. Now without a 65B certificate of Evidence Act, you have to follow the procedure. If the bank statements are submitted without a 65B certificate, it is inadmissible in the court of law. Also, the bank manager has to appear before the honorable court to justify his actions and testify that there is certain bank statement which is placed on record and it is taken from the records of the bank, because anybody cannot just go with the bank statements to the court and give it to the court as evidence. So it has to be testified. Other point here is whether there is any eyewitness, whether there is independent witness. In such technical cases of cyber crimes and cyber frauds, unfortunately there are none. There are only police who come, one who has taken the FIR or registered the FIR, other one who has done the investigation, so he is called the investigating officer, and what all they present as evidence is, one, that they might have tracked some phone, they might have traced some IP address, and they might have traced some bank account and leading to the accused. So whether the person is accused or not in the case is totally dependent upon the evidences that come before the court. Now last but not the least, very important thing that we have come across in these days, even High Court of Bombay has such kind of cases of cryptocurrency. So it basically talks about some investment schemes with respect to cryptocurrency. I think hardly people know what it is about, what is Bitcoin about, how it functions, because it is all online and in digital format. People are luring others with the help of these kind of schemes, wherein maybe they'll get more money, more benefits and profits, but falling prey to such greed is not the point. It may lead to cyber fraud totally. So with this, I end my session. Thank you.
Sumedha, thank you very much, because you have talked on a topic, the information of which is much more needed today in our society, because more and more we are shifting on e-banking, credit
Yes.
cards, debit cards, Paytms and whatnot, and there where this whole topic will play a very important role. So thank you very much for delivering such a nice lecture on this. A small token from Hammurabi to you.